the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. This is the El Donzo and Dees show.
I'm El Donzo.
I'm Dees, and I would like to take this time, as always, to remind you, check us out on socials, facebook.com/ElDonzoDees. Follow us on X or Twitter or whatever the hell you want to call it, at El Donzo Dees. And most importantly of all, if you have not done so, please go to YouTube, youtube.com/ElDonzoDees. Follow our page, subscribe, like the videos, turn your noties on, all that good stuff. Really help us out.
So, one last thing. This came out this week as well. This was after the last show aired. Eagle Pass, Texas. Customs and Border Protection cut a hole through the concertina wire that has been stretched by Texas DPS along the border to allow migrants to come through it. It was initially a group of about 60 to 70 people. It swelled to some 300 very, very quickly. They literally cut the fence to allow people in. This is a hostile invasion at this point.
Yeah,
when you take into consideration that the people making the most money are the cartels. Now, I want to say this. I want to be very upfront here because I've had some people question me about this. I have so much sympathy for a lot of the good people that just want to get out of a sticks-hole country. They want to come here for a reason. I got sympathy for that. A lot of people brave death to come to this country, okay? I'm not against them. I don't hate them. I don't despise them. I don't not want them in my country. But there has to be checks and balances here. Now, the majority of these people, not all of them, I wouldn't say a majority. Let's say half. I mean, the numbers are up in the air. We know we have Russian nationals, Chinese nationals, okay? We have people from Africa, Sudan, Niger. We have these people coming across the border. Haiti. People are just flooding in. And the coyotes and the drug cartels are the ones making the money, and we're paying the price for this.
Yeah.
Why are we just openly allowing these people to come in? There was such a stampede of Haitian migrants that I think they actually killed 2 trying to get across the border. Trampled people. This isn't... When we say this has got to stop and we can't allow these people in, we're not talking about refugees from Mexico. We're not talking about Mexican. When I say illegals, I'm not talking about Mexican immigrants. I'm talking about overall. This is out of hand. Now, you can have as much compassion for people as you want to. It's almost like this thing with Ukraine. Look, I get it. A lot of people don't want to see Russia invade Ukraine. We have to do something. Okay, we'll do something. But we can only do so much. We can't destroy our country to save Ukraine. Just like we cannot destroy our country to bring people in at this rate. This is unprecedented what's going on here. The mainstream media is just starting to now acknowledge it. They're bringing these people in on purpose. What is the motivation to do this? Now, meanwhile, it's destroying our country. Look, when you cannot take this amount of people in, you can't take them in. I don't care how bad we feel for them. We can't do it. There's no choice here. You know what? That's like letting D's. How big a house is yours?
Not.
How bedroom?
What?
How many bedrooms is your house?
Well, technically 3. But
okay, let's just say 3.
Yeah.
Let's just say 3. And let's say you have a budget of, let's just say $3,000 a month for your household, right? That feeds you, keeps gas going, all this stuff. Can you afford right now to take 15 people into your house and support them?
No, I can't afford to support myself.
Well, America's in the same boat right now.
Yeah.
Look, you may feel bad for these people. You may want to take care of them, but you cannot do it. It's physically, it's monetarily impossible to do it. That's my whole point with this. We're not against people. It's not that we don't have feelings for these folks. We do. But you know what? Why don't these countries they're coming from step up to the plate? Why don't they take care of their people? Venezuelans are coming across the border. Why are we getting oil from Venezuela? Why are we supporting Venezuela and taking their people in because they mistreat them?
Well,
because it's a Marxist government.
I say anyone age 18 to 35 has to serve in the military for us for 2 years.
That's a novel idea.
And that would help solve the problem we talked about that's going to happen in segment 1.
Well, I agree with that. Okay, that's a novel idea, but there's a problem with it. It's unrealistic.
Yeah.
That's like saying if you want to just get rid of guns, you'll stop gun crime. Well, look, I'm going to side with them on this. This is true. If you removed every gun, every firearm component, and all the ammunition, you would see gun crime go down until somebody built one. Okay? You would see a significant decrease, but it's not realistic. It's not going to happen. This gun control stuff. It's just, it's just phenomenally stupid. It's like in New Mexico, where they banned concealed carry, and I can't remember which city it was. And the sheriff's like, you're out of your mind. That's not going to do anything to stop the crime. Anyway, this is how nuts everything has become. Let's go to this one real quick. Okay, this is a headline, Gateway Pundit. Trump responds after Democrat New York judge orders his business license to be rescinded as punishment in Letitia James's lawsuit. Now, if you'll remember this was a Hail Mary pass by the Dems to get rid of Donald Trump. And it didn't work, so they rescinded his business license. Do you know why they did this? You know why he got that punishment, right? Because he supposedly inflated his values on his properties to get loans. Okay, so when he went to the bank, you have to sign a statement. You have to declare all your assets before they loan you money.
So he did what just about everybody does?
Just about everybody does. Now, here's a kicker. I could understand if he defaulted on a loan. This would be a big deal. I could understand if he didn't pay his creditors. I could understand if he gypped a bank or went bankrupt with this stuff. But at the end of the day, everybody was paid off. This wasn't a suit brought by him. This is how deep they had to dig to get Donald Trump. Think about this. They say he's the worst guy in the world, but this was all Letitia James could find, was that he may have inflated, and that's debatable to begin with. And I'll give you one example right now of how nuts this is. Let me pull this up real quick here. This is New York Post, and I read this and I was floored. Real estate insiders bewildered by judge's $18 million valuation of Trump's Mar-a-Lago. This is real estate guys. They valued it at $18 million. They said that's the actual value. Trump inflated it. They're saying it would be at least $300 million, the Mar-a-Lago estate. Minimum. He said, one of these insiders added, if that property were on the market today, I would list it at around $300 million minimum, at least. And he also has a separate golf course. So, you talk about throwing darts and seeing what sticks. Blindfolded. Right, Dees?
Yeah. Without question.
They undervalued it just to get him. And now they're yanking his business license? This is insanity, dude. This is insanity. One more thing I wanted to... Did you have anything for this segment?
Did not.
All right, check this out.
Planned.
This is... Have you heard about this Paw Patrol spinoff?
No.
Okay, Paw Patrol, they've got like the first responder dog. They had the cop dog, which I think they had to get rid of that. Firefighter dog, Paw Patrol. They are now adding a spinoff called Rebel and Crew, and they're adding an LGBTQ character to it. This is a kid's show. Why does a little kid, my niece, when we had her, I think, watched Paw Patrol, and she was like 4 or 5. Why did they need to be adding this stuff into this? The promotional commercials have been running for a new Paw Patrol movie coming out September 29th that many families are considering taking their young ones to. We have been toying with taking our 4-year-old, this is Alyssa Murphy writing this, for a first cinema experience. The lovable, loyal dogs who protect the city from the zany kitten catastrophe crew have even piqued my interest at times. But now, before even entering the theater, the lights are dimming on that idea with news of the Paw Patrol spinoff, Rebel and Crew, being the latest children's animated series to add what they dub a non-binary character into the program.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't. And I didn't have any Sam Brinton stories to go along with this. I know you really missed out on that.
What a shame.
I know, right? What a shame.
I mean, I can understand if it's for the sole purpose of like teaching acceptance. And
No. I disagree with you because it's not acceptance anymore. We don't look. They are like 0.07% of the population.
Stop.
I get where
I'm not talking about just the trans community. I'm talking about the gay, lesbian, because that's a much bigger group. And when I say acceptance, meaning that, okay, when we grew up, that was like a much maligned thing, especially through the AIDS thing. And like, that's why people were closeted, because not even to this day, not a lot of people accept people in that community. But the problem is that it's not just about acceptance. It's about cramming it down people's throats, and opposed to acceptance as, for lack of better words, normalizing and even glorifying it.
Now, I agree with you. And the reason that I jumped in there when you said acceptance was not what you just said. but everybody preaches accept. Look, 4 and 5-year-old children accept everybody, right? 4 or 5-year-old doesn't know what a non-binary person is. They don't know what a gay person is. They shouldn't anyway. They don't need to. They accept everybody. And kind of going along with you, what they're doing is instilling this normalcy that this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to brainwash people. They got to start young with them.
Yeah. I mean, if the message was clearly it's okay to be who you are type thing, fine.
Like Mr. Rogers.
But that's not where they stop with it. That's where the issue comes in. They, like you said, they glorify it. They make it be the it thing to do, you know, be like this person.
I was listening to Megyn Kelly, and I really like her because she brings up stuff that I don't get to hear. And talk about normalizing. Have you heard of the Folsom Street Fair in California?
I've heard of Folsom County Prison.
Earlier, what was that? Yeah, Folsom. I hear that train coming. Mm-hmm. It's real. No, Folsom Street Fair in California. I want to touch on that a little bit in the next segment. It's pretty much BDSM party right in the streets out in public. People defecating on themselves. People having anal sex. This is going on in public. And they had this guy,
where's this at?
This is in California. We're going to talk about that in the next segment.
Why am I not surprised?
But right out in public. Just nastiness. Just all kinds of nasty stuff going on. And in the last segment, we touched on something that I was unfamiliar with until I heard it. And I always give credit where credit is due. I heard it on the Megyn Kelly show, and it really piqued my interest. Okay? This is called the Folsom Street Party. And one of the guys that was there that was praising the Folsom Street Party was gay politician named Scott Weiner, who's a current member.
No way.
Yes, Scott Weiner. There's Mr. Weiner himself right there. He's a member of the California State Senate. A lot of criticism around this guy, and we're going to touch on that.
Who was the other Weiner?
Anthony Weiner, was taking pictures of his you know what and sending it, and his name was Anthony. Yeah, of his Oscar Mayer.
Yeah.
Anyway, the 53-year-old out gay politician is, of course, a Democrat and represents the 11th senatorial district, which includes San Francisco. So this is a write-up by Pride. And they're saying he should be able to attend an LGBTQ plus event without conservatives losing their mind. Listen to that. It's an LGBTQ plus event out in public, out on the streets. Anybody can walk in, D's. You could take your kids right in there. Do you know that?
Has that been confirmed?
It's out on the streets. It's public.
Maybe it's roped off. I don't know.
I don't think it doesn't look roped off to me. I'm just saying.
I bet there's some rope involved.
I bet there's a lot of rope. We're looking at the pictures right now. So let me give you a little background on this. The Folsom Street Fair, this is per Wikipedia, is an annual BDSM and leather subculture street fair held in September that concludes San Francisco's Leather Pride Week. Folsom Street Fair, sometimes referred to simply as Folsom, takes place on the last Sunday in September on Folsom Street. The event started in 1984 and is California's third largest single-day outdoor spectator event and the world's largest leather event and showcase for BDSM products. It has grown as a nonprofit charity, and local and national nonprofits benefit with all donations at the gates going to charity groups, as well as numerous fundraising schemes within the festival, including games, beverage booths, and even spanking for donations to capitalize on the adult-themed exhibition.
Spankings? I gotta get tickets.
It's gay. Go get tickets if you want, D's. I'm going to stay out of it. If you want to get some leather-clad biker guy,
all gay.
Well, I'm sure they're not all gay, but anyway. So a couple things from this, and we looked through some of the pictures. This is pretty out and out, isn't it? We're looking at
that's. I don't think you'll see that going down Main and Center.
These people are
soon.
Getting bondage, getting whipped. They got the clothes. This is nuts, man. Look at what this guy's doing to this guy. Look at that.
I'm just glad I'm not wearing my glasses.
So anyway, of course they're downplaying it. But they were doing scat parties there, right out in the streets. Now I'm not going to say on air what a scat party is, but you can imagine like doing that kind of thing and openly having sex. This is a pretty nasty. Well, San Francisco. I mean, what do you expect at this point? San Francisco used to be beautiful, but it's not anymore. So anyway, how does Scott Weiner tie into this? And you just saw a picture of Mr. Weiner all dressed up. What? What's so funny? Centurion, why do you laugh when I say wiener?
Because there's whips and chains and ropes and everything. And, you
And then
say,
there's a wiener right there.
how-
It's Scott Weiner. He's standing there.
Yes, and you said, how does Scott Weiner tie into this?
Well, it's his name. I mean,
I understand that, but just
how about we call him Scott Weiner from now on?
the whole tie, ropes.
Tie ropes. Oh, what's funny is,
welcome to the joke.
so this is well, I'm trying to do a show here, and you're tripping me up. And of course, I'm looking at all this bondage stuff, and so anyway, how does Scott Weiner tie?
See, you did it again.
I did it again. So what's the big deal here? I'll tell you what the big deal
How
is.
is Scott involved in
How
this?
is Scott
There you
involved in this, and why is it significant?
There you go.
This goes back. So this guy is a big proponent of converting your children. So this came out September 8th. The California legislature passed a bill Friday that requires a judge to consider whether or not a parent affirms their child's gender identity in a custody dispute. Democratic Senator Scott Weiner and Democratic Assembly member Lori Wilson introduced the bill in February, with Weiner claiming that the legislation was needed to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the child. According to the Associated Press, the bill passed the state Senate Wednesday with a 30-9 vote before making it through the General Assembly. Now, so what they're saying is, if you do not affirm, this is what I'm getting from this, their child's gender identity in a custody dispute, that'll depend on which child or which parent gets the child. Now, he's also pushing a bill, and I don't think it's passed yet, to where a school, if you don't affirm your child's gender or whatever, they can actually take the kid. They can remove the kid from the parents. They can take the kid from the parents. This is what this guy's pushing.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. They better think long and hard before Mr. Weiner comes to my house.
Okay, you got to stop it, man. We got to be professionals about this. We got to grow up.
No, I refuse. Look, we're going to die anyway in this war.
Yeah, you're right. Hell with it. You want to do some FCC violations real quick? Here. I don't give a about Scott Weiner. How about that? Well, that's going to be beeped out. That's beeped out. But anyway, you get the idea. But it's a lot of debauchery. And this guy having anything to do with your children after going there and praising the Folsom Street Fair, which I'm kind of sad I found out about, to be honest with you.
Yes, I would really appreciate you keeping Mr. Weiner away from my kids.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Be gone now, Weiner. Mr. Weiner. Senator Weiner.
Senator Weiner.
Senator
Yes,
Weiner. Okay.
Let's show this Weiner the dignity that he has earned.
He has earned no dignity, this Mr.
I can't
Weiner.
wait to get to hell.
I know. We're going there in a handbag. So anyway, check out, folks, go ahead and do it yourselves because we can't really explain it. Check out the Folsom Street Fair. Just go look at the pictures of this. Not around your kids, though. Not around your kids.
No.
So anyway, Deez, what did you have for us on this
Well,
segment?
we have breaking news, but it's not going to be breaking to the listeners because obviously this is pre-recorded, but breaking to us. Dianne Feinstein, dead, age 90.
What happened?
Well, according to the New York Post and Fox News, cause of death has not yet been confirmed.
Yeah. Well, they probably have to do an extensive autopsy to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just assuming the bungee cord broke or
The parachute didn't open.
Yeah.
So you don't think she made it across Snake River Canyon?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Well, this is one of those things. 98 years old.
Yeah, cause of death? She was 90. That's the cause of death.
She was older than 90, wasn't she?
No, she was 90.
She was 90. Okay, but still, I mean, it's
And
like,
if you've watched anything over the last couple of years, she probably was already dead. Like, we talk about Weekend at Bernie's. That was literally Weekend at Bernice's because she has been a corpse for quite some time.
well, I mean, the same thing's happening with Joe Biden, though. I mean, in all actuality.
Yeah, she voted last, just this past Wednesday in an early session, but then didn't show up for two other votes. So there's speculation that that's when it occurred.
Well, you know what? I mean, she wasn't a horrible person. She was a Democrat. She was a liberal, but she wasn't a horrible person. We wish her family,
Yeah, I thought
all the best and thoughts.
As the
everything.
McAfee boys will say, T's and P's.
Yeah,
But
T's and P's, thoughts and prayers, and all that good stuff. But it is how we keep these people. She was still in office, wasn't she?
Yeah,
she was still.
She
in
voted
office.
Wednesday.
Yeah. She was, of course, mentally incapacitated.
Yeah, she did. Well, she didn't, but she was told that she was no longer running when her term expired. But Guess what? Your other term expired first. So.
Yeah, she had an expiration date and it caught up.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing. We're keeping people in office until they die. What? This is insane.
Yeah.
We do need to have term limits. I was up in the air about term limits years ago because you really like somebody, you want to keep them in there. And at this point, I'm convinced we need term limits. We cannot have these people
absolutely need term limits.
Profiteering off being in office.
Yep, and that this isn't. This is widespread. We've got olds in the GOP side that need to go, i.e. Mitch McConnell and what's the other one's name? I can't think of it now, but yeah, term limits needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of we have term limits on presidents, don't we?
We have term limits on,
yeah.
Well, we don't have them on. We need them on judges too, the Supreme Court judges too. That should not be a lifetime appointment.
Well, here's my issue with that. That it'll be constantly see, that's another one I'm up in the air about.
I'm not saying it should only be 4 years or 6 years, but like at 12, 15, give them a long time but fresh blood, fresh ideas.
But but here's the thing about the Supreme Court. The judges on the Supreme Court rotate when they either resign or they die. But the other issue with that is you've got 9 people on the Supreme Court. It's not just one person making all these decisions, which is the difference there. And the Supreme Court really does not make foreign policy. They don't profiteer off things.
Yeah,
they hear domestic cases. So I'm not worried about the Supreme Court.
Agreed.
I mean, we're in a good spot right now with the Supreme Court.
I'm just saying if we're gonna do it, let's do it full scale. Like let's refresh all 3 branches. But again, Supreme Court, I would say at worst you make it still a lengthy term.
Here's a question: when do you want to refresh it? Do you want to do it during a Republican presidency or a Democrat presidency? See, here's where the issue comes to play.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to change the rules, but they only want to change it when it applies to them.
Yeah,
right?
I would say once you set it up, it is what it is. I mean,
well, we keep the Supreme Court the way the Supreme Court is. I don't want to change anything about it. I really don't.
Now let
it's
me
like
play
packing the Supreme Court's another argument.
Let me play devil's advocate. If the Supreme Court was left-leaning right now, would your thoughts be the same?
On putting on term limits?
Yeah.
No,
they wouldn't be the same?
No, they wouldn't be the same.
So you would want term limits to get the lefties out of there.
I mean, no, they would be the same.
Okay.
But my bad. No, I mean, I'll hold to that one. That's how the Constitution's written for that, and I agree with it. I really do.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody's qualified, they're not being elected, they're being appointed. I'd keep the Supreme Court as it is. I'm going to stick to my guns on that, whether it's going to hurt me or not, because I'm El Donzo, and that's what I do. I can't be bought. And there's something we didn't get into that we almost forgot about. We've got a couple things. We got Russell Brand, which I really want to talk about this and the witch hunt that's ensuing on him right now, and why this is all BS at the moment. But we want to talk about... Well, I don't really want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it, don't we? The Republican presidential debate. Primaries.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you didn't watch that, did you?
No, I completely forgot it was on. I caught a few highlights here and there.
I didn't watch it. I caught a few highlights myself, and I'm going to tell you why I didn't watch it, because to me it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, we had the cold open where Chris Christie called Donald Trump Donald Duck, which was just, I don't know, it was kind of stupid.
He started off, he came out strong out of the gate, and then it fell flat. Like,
the issue is Donald Trump went and debated everybody. He stood on that stage back in 2016, didn't sign his pledge. He stood up to everything. Chris Christie doesn't understand something. Donald Trump doesn't need to be there. Everybody on that stage is in a fight to the death for second place. That's all it is. And Donald Trump's not going to pick any one of them, I don't think, to be the vice president. You want to talk about wasting your time. You're fighting for second place. There's no way, unless Donald Trump is assassinated or somehow disqualified for running for president. We talked about this previously, that either one of them, any one of them is going to be the president of the United States, especially Chris Christie. Mike Pence, you're talking the person with the largest percentage on that stage was Ron DeSantis, and he teeters between 13 and 16%.
Yeah.
This is a runaway for Trump. I said it in the first debate. Don't even go to it. Don't even go and debate these people. Don't get on the stage. It's a waste of time. There's no point in going there, and he did that thing with Tucker Carlson. Now, I will say one thing I haven't gotten to see yet, which I do want to watch, is while this debate was going on, he went and addressed, I think it was the auto workers at the non-union plant. But Tucker Carlson had Bill O'Reilly on there. Did you hear about this? While the debate was going on?
He's still alive.
Oh yeah, he's still alive and kicking. And Tucker Carlson kind of him-hawed around. He's like, I got to bring it up. The infamous, we'll do it live, F it. So him and O'Reilly talked about that. And O'Reilly was saying that he can go to, he still gets picked out for being that guy. Like he'll be on the street like in Japan and somebody be like, oh, it's a do it live guy. So they kind of joked around about that, which was one of my, we used to have that on the show at the beginning, didn't we?
Yeah.
We'll do it live, F it. Yeah, like Bill O'Reilly said, we'll do it live, F it. So anyway, no, I didn't bother watching the
By all
debates.
accounts, though, I mean, it looks like the winner of the night that was on the stage was DeSantis. Everything I'm reading says that
DeSantis did
he
a
had
lot
a
better.
really, really strong showing after, now what is it going to do to his numbers? Probably nothing.
And we could pull that up I'll pull that up in Real Clear Politics while we play the highlights for you.
The biggest thing to me is that unless numbers skyrocketed or rocket in the next couple of days, then it's time for people to start dropping.
Well, here's the thing. They need to drop and take their money, their campaign money, and all their support and get behind Donald Trump. This is what they've done with Donald Trump has backfired.
You already know
significantly.
Christie's not going to do that.
No, Christie, but Christie's just a fart in the
Neither
wind
is
anyway.
Pence.
No, Pence is not going to do it. But here's my point. What the left wanted to do, and a lot of establishment Republicans, to go get Trump has backfired considerably in their faces. And they're starting to panic now. They're starting to panic. Even Bill Maher had James Carville on, and they're both saying, Trump could very well win the presidency again. When they start acknowledging it, that's when you know they're running scared. But there's always something in the higher echelons that they know that we don't know. Just like, how are they going to get rid of Trump? Because I guarantee you right now, they will not just bend over and lean over and let Trump move into the presidency. They're all screwed at that. If he ever gets back in the White House, you will see a day of reckoning the likes of which nobody can imagine after what they've done to him. Think of how vengeful you be.
Yeah. I'm more afraid that he won't go hellfire and brimstone, at least as far as what I believe he should. I'm sure there'll be some consequences, repercussions, but I don't think it'll be to the extent that a lot of people on the right would prefer to see.
I would literally go scorched earth. So
I would too, yeah.
And I think they're probably afraid of it. But let's play some highlights.
I'd pull out some Ezekiel, whatever the quote was.
Well, let's go ahead and go to these Republican presidential debate highlights. This is almost reminds me of herding cats. Let's go ahead and play. Go.
Biden should not be on the picket line. He should be on the southern border, working to close our southern border.
Good point.
Because it is unsafe, wide open.
That's Tim Scott, by the way.
Look, I do disagree with something
Mike
Tim
Pence.
Scott just said. Joe Biden doesn't belong on a picket line. He belongs on the unemployment line. As President of the United States, I'll be standing with workers all across America, and I'll be standing for the right to work of every American to join a union or not join a union as they decide.
He
If the
won't stand
government
with Todd
shuts
Weiner.
down, should voters blame populist Republicans?
Voters should blame everybody who's in Washington, D.C.
Where's Joe Biden? He's completely missing in action from leadership. And you know who else is missing in action? Donald Trump is missing in action. He should be on this stage tonight. He owes it to you
shut it.
to defend his record where they added $7.8 trillion to the debt.
And I want to look at that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight. Not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
You have said slaves develop skills in spite of slavery, not because of it. But many are still hurt. For descendants of slaves, this is personal. What is your message to them?
So first of all, that's a hoax that was perpetrated by Kamala Harris. We are not going to be doing that. Second of all, that was written by descendants of slaves. These are great Black history scholars, so we need to stop playing these games.
There is not a redeeming quality in slavery. He and Kamala should have just taken the one sentence out.
I have a radical idea for the Republican Party. We need to win
Ramaswamy.
elections. And part of how we win elections is reaching the next generation of young Americans where they are. So when I get into office, I've been very clear. Kids under the age of 16 should not be using addictive social media.
This is infuriating because TikTok is one of the most dangerous.
Now, we're going to stop it right there, folks, and I'm going to tell you why. We can listen to these talking heads on this debate stage say whatever they want. He should be at the southern border. He should do this. We need to clean out Washington. We need to do that. We need to get rid of stick. We need to. Okay, yeah, we all agree with that. What they're saying, they're preaching to the choir, as the old saying goes.
Yeah.
It's not interesting. Now, what is interesting, and everybody knows how I am with abortion. All right, and Deez, you're not far behind me on it, or not far to the left. Trump made a good point. So the 6-week abortion ban in Florida opens up a lot of issues in my mind. 6 weeks, it's to me is pretty extreme. Now, I'm not saying I want to see any abortion, and I'm not on the left with abortion.
Agreed.
But he came out and he criticized that. Now, my only issue is, and I've known a lot of people that have been pregnant, and I have 2 kids of my own. 6 weeks is most people don't know they're pregnant in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's right on the fringe. Yeah.
So the problem with that is we are going to need, and I agree with Donald Trump, there's going to have to be we're going to have to agree on something. Now, I want to let the states do it. Don't get me wrong. I want to let the states do it. I don't want this federalized. I didn't agree with that in the first place. But when these Republicans come out and say no abortion under any circumstances, they are losing a lot of people because this is what the majority of America wants. They don't want the majority of America doesn't want abortion on demand. The majority of America wants to see something like 15 weeks, something that's in line. I don't agree with that.
If they do a nationwide ban on abortions, it's going to be no different than if you were to ban guns or the already banned drugs. It's still going to happen, but in a much less safe environment.
Here's why I want to tell you something. This is where Trump's actually done really good at. Trump is figuring out how to be just enough of a politician at this point. Now, people go, well, I can't believe that if you think 6-week abortion ban is negative. Well, look, I'm going to tell you something. This is reality. When the majority of the masses don't want something, we got to retool how we're doing it. There's always supposed to be some concession in this form of government. We always have to have, even at the state level, we have to pick and choose our battles here. And I don't like abortion, but I know that we're going to have some form of legal abortion, even in our state. The problem is the left takes it and runs with the ball and does all this cockamamie up until the time of birth and abortion on demand and for any damn reason under the sun. But no, I mean, if you're turned off by Trump's words on that, now I don't want to federalize it. He didn't come out and say that out and out. He was very vague about it, but he's vague about it for a reason. He knows it's a sensitive subject for the voters. Coming at you from the Skyhammer Studios on a beautiful Saturday morning, I'm El Donzo.
I'm Deez.
And there's a story I want to get into, this Russell Brand thing. Have you been following this at all?
Not a single second. I know I've seen some things on Twitter that he's being under investigation or something like that, accused of something. I don't know. Fill me in.
We're gonna cap it. He's been accused of rape, sexual assault, and emotional abuse, and this is over a 7-year period between 2016 and 2013. This has been a result of a joint investigation between
2016 and
2006 and 2013.
Okay.
Thanks for catching that.
Like,
2006 and 2013. These allegations are a result of a joint investigation by the Sunday Times, the Times, and Channel 4 Dispatches. Of course, Brand is denying these allegations. So 5 alleged victims, 4 of them anonymous, imagine that, were interviewed in the Dispatches documentary aired on Saturday night. This is a couple weeks back. This has been going on for a while, and we missed it last week, and I wanted to get into it. So pretty much what has happened here is they've accused him of rape. One was supposedly underage. This is just now coming out. How convenient. When Russell Brand was considered a liberal, nobody said anything about this. Now he's leaning more to the right, and he's calling people out, and he's speaking truth and using his logic and coming out against Big Pharma and coming out about these shots and coming out against the government. And now all these allegations pop up, Deez.
Yeah, seems a bit strange.
I find it kind of odd. Now, YouTube has demonetized him. Now, here's the thing. These are allegations. He hasn't been trying to court of law yet. These are allegations. They could be bogus. They could be real. They could be bogus. But here's the power of YouTube demonetizing him. He's come out and asked all his supporters to pay $60 a year to support him financially because they've demonetized him. They demonetized him over nothing. I can make an allegation against you for rape. Couldn't I? And I'm not leading in with a joke here, Deez.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, technically I could. I could go to the police department and say, hey, Deez raped me, and okay, we're going to file an investigation on this, and we're going to go talk to Deez, and we're going to try to get eyewitnesses. Should Deez lose his job over that? No. Should Deez not be able to make money because it's an allegation? Look at the allegations against Trump. Look at the allegations against all these people.
I mean, that happens all the time, though. I mean, we're seeing this because he's famous, but I know personally somebody that lost their job over just that, an accusation. There wasn't even an investigation pending, let alone ongoing, and he lost his job of like 20 plus years.
And so Elon Musk has come out and said it's in the witch burning phase, which is exactly what it is. And who knows about witch burning more than people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump? Anytime somebody comes out and rubs somebody the wrong way or goes against the grain, you get all these allegations.
Well, that's what
out.
got him in hot water in the first place, apparently.
Well, who's that?
Russell Brand.
Oh, yeah. Well, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
But supposedly, he says everything has been consensual, and he says he denies all these claims. So let him have his day in court is what it comes down to. That's what we have to do. We jump to these conclusions, and it was like the George Floyd thing. It was like the Breonna Taylor thing. It was like the Michael Brown thing. It's like the war in Ukraine. You get these stories, and you get the narrative from people that you shouldn't trust. Now, I'm not saying that Russell Brand didn't do any of this stuff. What I'm saying is I'm not going to make a decision and judge him until he's had his day in court.
Yeah.
That's my point to it.
Yep.
But you see YouTube and Google and all these companies and Facebook, they run
same company, YouTube and Google.
Well, I know that, but I'm talking about the entities.
Yeah.
Okay, the entities. These entities pretty much run the country at this point. So, anyway, I don't put a lot of stock into it. I still support Russell Brand until this comes out. And, it's like Marilyn Manson. That was one of those things. He had a bunch of allegations against him. And I don't know. I haven't kept up on it where they're at, but I'll still listen to Marilyn Manson music. Now, if it comes out he was raping people and being horrible then I won't listen to it then. And I don't know what's happened with that. And I'm not a big Marilyn Manson fan. But anyway, I want to touch on that and wrap that up. Deez, what do you got?
Texas Jack in the Box turned into a scene out of a Western movie after an enraged employee unloaded on a customer during a dispute over missing curly fries.
I saw this. What in the hell is going on?
Apparently, they drove over to the old Jack in the Box around 11 p.m., wanted a meal, and when they checked the meal, they noticed that the curly fries were missing, so he came back and asked for his fries, and the woman started arguing with him, and then she started throwing ice and ketchup and everything at the guy, and he starts throwing it back. Well, then she's like, I'm going to get my piece. And the other employee actually tries to lock the slider, but nope, she rips open the drive-through window, pulls out her pistol, and opened fire. And thankfully, nobody was hit. But now the family is suing her, Jack in the Box, and their parent company for $250,000, and they should get it. She denied that she did anything wrong when it's clearly on video what she did. Here's the biggest problem I have with the story: she was charged with misdemeanor deadly activity is what it is.
What
a misdemeanor.
What town was this in?
Texas.
Okay, that's a state.
Yeah, I know, but that's all I'm saying here.
It's probably a liberal town. What color was she?
Oh, it was at Bush International Airport, Houston.
Yeah, Houston, Texas. What color was she?
She was an African American.
African American. Is it any surprise she gets a slap on the wrist for that?
In Texas, a little bit.
Well, it's liberal.
Although it is Houston, though.
Houston's liberal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my point to this is they want to cut down gun crime, so they go after law-abiding gun owners that make the right decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, they'll throw us in jail and slap a felony on our asses in a heartbeat.
Yep.
But this happens, you got charged with what? Misdemeanor?
A misdemeanor, deadly activity or something like that. Yeah.
Well,
the fact that it's a misdemeanor is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
And finally, good news, Illinois. we are not in the top 10 states with the highest STD rates.
Well, that's good news.
Yes. If you live in Missouri, Louisiana, Alaska, South Carolina, South Dakota, Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas, New Mexico, or North Carolina, well, sorry about it. You guys are the top 10 states to catch an STD. So,
well, interesting. That's so.
Don't be a loner.
You know what? Everybody clap for that.
Yeah, yay!
Don't be a fool. Vocalizer tool.
Yes, sir.
In the days of old, when men were bold and condoms weren't invented, they wrapped a sock around their. Oh, it's the end of the show. We're coming up on it right now, folks. It's been a pleasure. We love you all. We'll be back next weekend. This is El Donzo out, baby.
See ya.